All right. Today is February the 3rd. It is 9 a.m. and it's approximately 28 degrees out this morning. Right now, at least it's not windy out. We are at the Hamblen County Highway Department, and we are going to do a little audit. There's no signs here on the gate saying authorized personnel only. They've got one of their salt spreader trucks right here. Got Old Glory. It's now flying in the breeze today. Luckily, like I said, it's cold out. Right off the bat, I see some good tread on the tires. So that's good. Got one of the refuge trucks here. And over here, we have, I think it's where they park the grapple trucks. Now, these trucks here, these grapple trucks, are different. They're different than what the city uses, okay? The city uses shuttle loaders and shuttle trucks with dump trailers, okay? And they load the trailers and then they go back and forth. These trucks don't have a trailer. They're self-loading. They load themselves, then they drive out to the dump, and they go ahead and dump, and then they go back and to their original spot. See, guy waved at me. That was nice. So I have requested records, and we're going to see how many tonnages they've done in January of this year, so last month, how many tons they did, how many employees it took, how many hours, and see which one is a little bit more efficient between the county running these trucks and the city. Another one of the snowplow trucks. You see the rust? You see, on a regular dump truck that doesn't do snow removal or icing, isn't going to be all rusted out like this. So this is what I was talking about in yesterday's video in regards to just pouring. Oh, look at this side. Just pouring out salt, and it rusts your vehicle. We have a grapple truck pulling on in over here. Alright, they got their old signage back in here. The long reach mowers. Looks like they're pretty organized. I give them that. Look, they got all their salt spreaders all up on a rack. That way, just quickly load them on up. Looks like they got themselves a new Caterpillar mini skid. Mini excavator there. Seen some tires over here. They look like they were used. Let's check those out. See what kind of intervals. Oh, they all look pretty good. Changing out of regular intervals, that's good. this is where they keep their new tires at. Got a good supply of those. That's good. Big tires on a little trailer. And here's their salt bin. They've got 2 storage bins. I'm not sure if one is treated and one is untreated. And another truck ready to go. So it looks like they've got the equipment in the trucks to handle snowstorms. None of the bay doors are open today. This is a weird looking truck over here. Alright, it's got some toolboxes, so this is their service truck. Go out and service on the road. Alright, so you see this sign? Employees only beyond this point. They have a sign up for Hamblen County, but the School Board of Transportation Bus Department does not have any signage like that up. Please wear your mask. County mandate 8/4/2020. Not much else to really see out here. Uh-oh. So, they take care of our roads, they take care of the county areas, and how you doing today? I can't complain. Can you tell everybody your name and your position here?
I'm Barry Poole. I'm the road superintendent in Hamblen County.
How you doing, Barry?
Good.
I just did a little walk around through here. I've got a couple questions maybe you can answer for me.
All right.
The salt bins over here, I noticed you have 2 different bins. Is one of those salts treated and one untreated?
No, they're both the same salt. They're mixed with a chat material, a small rock, a fine rock.
Oh, okay.
So we got half rock and half salt.
Okay, so that's what that is half and half for better traction.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so your application rate on the roads, are they double what it would be just sort of the salt, or are you going the same amount?
Same amount.
Same amount?
We get as much advantage with that rock and the traction as we do with the salt. Is enough salt to make it melt.
Okay.
So.
All right. I was kind of walking around. I saw your tires back over there. They all look like they've been changed pretty good intervals.
Right.
I didn't see anything really worn out or anything like that. Everything looked organized. You guys are pretty organized over there. I saw all your salt spreaders all in the back over there, all on racks.
Right.
I mean, it looks like you all are taking care of your property here.
We do our best. You know how it is with this many vehicles and this much equipment. Sometimes you get a little behind sometimes, but we try to stay up with it.
Yeah. So these grapple trucks that you have here, they're not like what the city uses. The city uses a shuttle loader and a shuttle truck system for their operation.
Yeah.
Which one is more efficient? I've asked for records for January of this year for total number of tonnage from both the county and the city.
Okay.
And so which one, in your opinion, is more efficient? Is it more efficient to use the shuttle loaders or to use a standard straight grapple truck?
For us to do the shuttle, we will have to go with different trucks and different configurations. And all we've bought thus far has been the truck and the body on the back. So we would have to change the type of vehicles we buy. We'd have to start buying the trailers and everything. So we'd have to sort of stop in place and start buying, different types of vehicles to do that. Now the city says it works well for them. But we're so far out with some of our trucks where we have to go get stuff to go back to the landfill. I don't know if it will work as well for us because the city is in a condensed area and we get spread out so far. It's not that I wouldn't be willing to try it, but we just have got the bodies on the back.
See, I just feel that your operation is maybe a little bit more efficient because your guys are going from where they're loading directly to the dump and directly back.
Yeah.
Versus going to a facility, disconnecting one trailer, reconnecting another trailer, and then driving back out.
Yeah.
The economical way would be to have one loader and then maybe 3 or 4 shuttle trucks bringing the trailers directly from where they're being loaded, directly to the landfill, and then bringing it directly back to where the loader is so that that loader is loading constantly. Yeah. There's a constant flow of trailers and he's not leaving because loading is where the productivity is.
Yeah.
So hopefully between the two records, we'll be able to kind of see, tonnage and hours and the efficiency because I'm kind of concerned about that.
Yeah.
But everything looks great on all of these trucks. Looks like you guys have been doing a fabulous job on the maintenance on them. I'm going to take a look at one of these over here, if you don't mind. I'm not going to be touching anything. Is there an issue with that?
No, but this truck just come off of the snow we had. We did pre-salt some areas because we get steep areas and shaded areas. We want to get some salt on before the snow happens to get it underneath the snow on the pavement so that you get a change in temperature and it'll start the melting process as quickly as possible. So we've had salt in them, and they've been out in the traffic during this last snow so they could look a little worse than they normally do.
Of course, yeah. That being out there, I mean, a lot of people don't know, but for a few years, I had the largest private snow removal service here in Hamblen County.
Oh, okay.
And we also are the only ones that ever offered brine application.
Yeah.
We invested in the brine equipment and the application equipment and all that. And a few years back, we were doing hurricane relief in Florida, and we weren't going to be here for the winter, so I allowed all my contracts to expire.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it though, yeah. And you're right. And I made this point yesterday at the city council meeting in regards to shady areas and grade changes.
Right.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Barry. Those are the areas, no matter what the temperature is, the shady areas are always colder.
Right.
It could be 100 degrees out, that shaded area is always going to be much cooler.
That's right.
And the pavement holds heat for a long time.
Yeah.
So those are the places that need to be serviced first.
Yes.
And I agree with you 100%, as well as the grade changes, because a lot of people have to either get home or go to work, or maybe an emergency vehicle needs to get there. Headed out with a little bit of salt. That's a nice spreader right there. It's got a conveyor system and all. That's a nice setup right there. Yeah, the grade changes in the shaded areas definitely should be applied prior to anything else.
Right.
because that salt can sit there for a day or two
Yeah.
prior to it. And as a matter of fact, the vehicles help move that salt
Right.
to other areas.
Yeah.
And that's really your biggest benefit. When there's no traffic, it's harder
Right.
for you all to control the ice and the snow buildup versus more trafficked areas.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you bringing that up. Do you all take like temperature checks of the pavement? Do you know what the pavement temperatures are?
Well, we don't, because that melting is so dependent on the weather and the sun.
Yes.
You can have a 25-degree day, and if the sun's not out, you won't get it much melting. But if you get the sun out, it's almost like you turn the light switch off. It starts melting a lot quicker.
Very rapid, yes.
So, you know, the pavement temperature is something we can't control. The application is something we can't control. So if the weather helps us, then we get the help, and if it doesn't, you know, then we, like you say, we have to wait on the pavement temperature to be warmed up by the sun, because that's the only thing that's going to warm it up.
That's it. Do you all ever use any calcium chloride? Do you have any of that on hand, or?
We've looked at that, and it's so expensive in terms of storage, the specifications that it has to be kept by in terms of temperature and the mixture of it. It has to be done a very peculiar way, and we don't have the storage tanks. We don't have the applicators on our trucks. You know, we'd have to have a totally different setup for that. So we never wanted to invest in that.
Okay.
What we've got works pretty good, and we never have invested in the calcium chloride.
All right. Do you all do any brine applications? Is that something this department does, or you just use rock salt and?
We just use the rock and the salt. Yes.
Okay. That's been effective for many, many years.
Yeah.
It's definitely a proven thing.
Yeah.
Barry, I think you've answered, you know, pretty much all the questions that I have for today.
Well, if this is an opportunity for me to get some information out to people, that would be helpful.
That definitely would be. Is there any in particular area you'd like to go and stand,
Well,
maybe so that the?
Well, you know, you were talking about the brush trucks.
Yeah.
And the brush trucks, obviously, we pick up trimmings from shrubs and trees, and we pick up junk like old couches, chairs, TVs. There's just a few things we can't pick up, like batteries and stuff like that. We can't take to the landfill, and they don't want that type of thing in there. But what we do pick up when we have trimmings from trees, one thing I'd like to tell people is separate the trimmings from shrubs and trees from the junk.
Yes.
And also separate the recyclable material. And the garbage obviously goes in the garbage carts. We have the 95-gallon receptacle. And when you do trimming and you lay limbs beside the road for us to pick up, lay them parallel with the road rather than crisscross or perpendicular to the road, because it's a lot easier for us to get it with those grapples if it's all in one direction.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It speeds out. It makes us more efficient. So things like that, I'd like for people to know. And in terms of our brush and junk pickup, we get around to everybody as often as possible. In other words, if we go to the east end or the west end, that's our process. We start on Monday's garbage route on both ends. Once we get Monday's garbage route, we go to Tuesday. Once we get Tuesday to Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. So we're doing it as fast as possible. People don't need to call in, because we don't go just to a particular address. We go by those routes, and we go through all the routes or all the roads on Monday, and then go to Tuesday. So we get a lot of calls, but people really don't need to call, because we've got a routine, and we send all our trucks east and get all the east end picked up. Then we go to the west and get all the west picked up, and then start over again. So you know, a lot of people don't know that type of thing, don't really think about it because they're not in the business, but those are little things that would be helpful to us.
Yeah, I mean, some weeks are definitely going to be more busier on you if we
Yeah.
get a little storm that comes through,
Right.
or especially like early spring, everybody's out there cutting on stuff, landscaping, this, that, and the other, so there's a lot of debris out there.
Yes.
Another thing I want to point out, you pointed out, you know, having everything laid in the same direction, and that makes it much more efficient for the grapple truck operator to pick up the debris, because that grapple will only close on the biggest object that's in the grapple.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to point out is not to put that underneath trees, low power lines.
Exactly.
you know, things like that make it more efficient for the driver, and that way they can get through their route quicker and they can pick up the people's debris a little bit sooner.
That's right.
So yeah, that is a good point that you made, and hopefully people will understand now, because it is difficult. I know exactly what you're talking about. Anything else you'd like to bring up?
Well, we have a lot of problems with stolen garbage carts. A lot of problems with vehicles hitting them. A lot of people just can't identify where their garbage carts went. And to put the cart out there for us to collect it on the day of their collection, to bring it back to their house so that it's not down at the road where they can be hit by a vehicle, where they can be stolen by somebody, and that type of thing. So for people to put them out and bring them back is important to us, because we go through a lot of garbage carts in terms of replacing the stolen ones, the ones that have been in an accident, the ones where they just don't know what happened to them, you know.
So there's a lot you don't even find?
Well, there's some.
Really?
A lot of them, people say they've been stolen, but we find them down the road somewhere, maybe in a ditch or something where there's been some vandalism involved. But some of them we don't find. We have known a couple of carts that end up in another county.
Wow.
Because people are...
I guess people use it for storage or something like that. Hey, it's got wheels, right?
Yeah. They got their eye on them, so...
That really surprises me. That really, truly does. Anything else?
Not that I can think of right offhand, but I appreciate you letting me do that.
Oh, no, you're very, very welcome, Barry. I thank you for this opportunity of allowing me to walk around the property, take a look at everything, and thank you. I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit of video of maybe the undercarriage of this, check out, you know, the inspection. I know you said it just came off the road there, doing some salt. Look, guys, I mean, you can see this is buildup from probably just yesterday, right? Because that salt clings to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You think that, the spreader, yep.
You get a lot of
Yep.
Those are bearings. Those bearings, eventually that salt gets to them and wears them out.
Yep.
So we end up replacing those bearings and these motors that turn the spreader
spreader
there, and that type of thing.
Okay, yeah, looks like you guys have kept that grease. I see some fresh grease on the top over there. It's definitely, maintenance is important, right?
That's right.
Maintenance is important. All right. Once again, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
You have a pleasant week.
You too.
All right. Well, that went pretty well. Obviously, I mean, he knew my name, so I'd say that somebody's been telling people that I'm out here. All right, so let's see. So I'm looking around. I mean, I see some grease fittings. They do look like they've got some grease. Everything looks good. That big plow. Alright. Well, we're going to go ahead and head on out of here. I mean, this looks like a successful audit. This is the way audits, in my opinion, should be. Open government. I came in here. I walked around. Nobody bothered me. No one approached me. There's people out here working. You know, that just goes to show you the mentality of different departments. The employees of different departments, the superintendents of those other departments. They're all people, right? So they all run things just a little bit differently than what everybody else might do. And this gentleman did a good job. He allowed me to come on out here. And without giving me a hard time, he didn't try to kick me out. I don't think he's going to go inside and call the police. I didn't get that, you know, from him. I was kind of hoping that was open, but You can see all the cords out here. You see all these cords out here? That's so that they can plug these trucks in. They got heaters on them for the motor, so that they'll start up when they're in polar temperatures. You know, maybe we can go to the landfill, watch these trucks unload, and be able to see that happen. Well, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, hit that bell, and like this video. Let me know that any ideas, suggestions that you might have, leave those on in the comments. If there's someplace that you would like audited, or somebody in particular, go ahead and private message me on Facebook, and we'll discuss it. From the Hamblen County Highway Department, we're out.